2 days ago, Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre's political career was sent into an utter death spiral because former Prime Minister Kim Campbell came out to criticize him, saying he is a hate monger and that the current Conservative Party no longer represents her values. Like myself, you've probably all already ripped up your Conservative Party memberships and joined the Liberal Party dedicated to vote for another term for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Or at least that's what the legacy media thinks that Conservatives should do in response to Kim Campbell's criticisms. It's really funny to watch the legacy media not understand how typical Canadians, especially conservative Canadians, think. Like, we're all going to, deeply care about the opinion of a woman who was prime minister for approximately 7 seconds, got decimated in the 1993 election, and since then has basically gone on tour saying any real conservatives are bad people because they should be more like me. A real conservative is a liberal. And that really is the mantra of so many red Tories, just like what Andrew Coyne does from the pages of the Globe and Mail, or Aaron O'Toole did after stepping down as the Conservative leader. A lot of red Tories just exist to try and convince real conservatives to become liberals, that the only way they can win the next election, or at least the only way that they can hold on to the support of people like Kim Campbell, is to effectively act exactly like Justin Trudeau. Especially Andrew Coyne, not to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but that guy's just the worst. He's not conservative in any way. He is an institutionalist. If the Liberals create a carbon tax, he then will claim that the most conservative thing to do is enforce that carbon tax, because to get rid of the carbon tax would be to attack an institution, and conservatives in his mind only exist to preserve institutions. But getting back to Kim Campbell, I don't know why the media thinks this is like a hard hit against Poilievre. I guess it's because it was like International Women's Day yesterday or whatever, that a lot of us are supposed to come out and think that, wow, Pierre Poilievre was attacked by Kim Campbell, our only ever female prime minister, on International Women's Day. Wow, that really makes you do a think, and maybe Pierre Poilievre isn't the right prime minister. Maybe Justin Trudeau is the best prime minister we've ever had, because Kim Campbell doesn't like Pierre. Who cares? It would be like in Alberta if Dave Hancock came out to criticize Danielle Smith. And I have nothing against Dave Hancock. I don't really know that much about him. He was only the premier of Alberta for a few seconds. And so why am I supposed to care because of his position what his opinion on Danielle Smith is? It would be like in Ontario. I don't even like Doug Ford. He's way too liberal for my liking. But it'd be like if former premier of Ontario Frank Miller came out to criticize Doug Ford. It'd be like a who cares? Who cares if he criticizes Doug Ford? Frank Miller, not the comic book artist and writer. Frank Miller, the former premier of Ontario, does not really hold a lot of weight with many people. It's Henry Strom, the former premier of Alberta, came out to criticize Danielle Smith, or whoever the lady was right after Bill Vander Zalm was the premier of BC. These interim premiers and prime ministers, frankly, don't really capture the imagination of Canadians. And when you read Kim Campbell's criticisms of Pierre Poilievre, it's just all backhanded stuff. It's not saying that Pierre Poilievre has done something against the values of conservatism that she believed in. She can't name a value of conservatism that she actually believes in. She's like one of those people where she's like, I believe in equity and social justice because I'm a conservative. People who just think that if they just say, I'm a conservative, and then they say liberal values after it, it makes those values conservative. Again, shameless plug, I'm running for the Calgary Signal Hill Conservative Party nomination. If you live on this west side of Calgary, go check out my website, wyattclaypool.com, buy a membership, make sure you can vote for me number one on your ballot when the nomination comes around. But I have tons of people in this nomination running against me. There's 14 of them who you could tell if the Liberals had a better chance in this riding, they would have voted for the Liberals, or they would have run for the Liberals. There's people in my riding who have stumped for equity. We need international gender equity, not equality, equity. One of my opponents in the piece written about her thinking about running, I think the word equity was used 12 times. You can't just sort of claim to be a conservative and then just only stump for liberal values. That is all Kim Campbell did. That is all Aaron O'Toole did. There's a lot of conservatives out there who think that just spending more efficiently in government, using the money that the government takes from Canadians a little bit more responsibly than the Liberals makes you a conservative. Maybe in the 1970s that makes you a conservative, but today I think you actually need to have a view of government not needing to be as big a part of people's lives. You have to believe in small government, traditional values, all that sort of thing. And if you don't, just run for the Liberals. Like, just be an out and out liberal. And that's always been the thing with Kim Campbell. She's never explicitly been a liberal since she stopped being the prime minister, that long time, that series time of history. But since she stopped being prime minister, she's pretty much just been a liberal, but she won't admit it because she likes the star power of being able to go around like claiming to be a former PC prime minister, and that like conservatives, like big like capital P progressive conservatives should listen to her opinion. I have not met a single person who cares about what Kim Campbell said. Pierre Poilievre, in response to her, basically just said, "Hey, look at her record," and then determine whether or not people should really care what she thinks, because she was trying to criticize his record. Pierre Poilievre, even if Chrétien attacked him, probably wouldn't have said that, because Chrétien at least has some amount of respect from Canadians. Canadians still have like a warm spot in their hearts for Jean Chrétien. He has a record worth maybe emulating in certain parts, but with Kim Campbell, there's nothing. She was a horrible AG. She was a horrible MLA in BC. She was a bad MP. Like what am I supposed to say about this? But because the legacy media just hates Pierre Poilievre so much, and they're so desperate, they're wheeling people out like Kim Campbell as if it's going to affect the race at all. New polling just dropped. Like, Justin Trudeau has like a negative rating on almost every single issue in the country. Especially housing. I think he is severely below water. I think maybe only 20% of people think he's doing a good job on the housing file. Not many strong supporters of him, even in that poll question. Like in terms of like the 20% who liked him, a large portion of that was not people who are strongly in favor of how he's been treating it. The media is so desperate to try and beat Pierre Poilievre. They're wheeling out Kim Campbell. They know that Justin Trudeau cannot be recovered on his own reputation, that there's nothing that Justin Trudeau can do at this point that's going to make Canadians like him. So all the media can do now is sling them out at Pierre Poilievre. That is why, and these are coordinated attacks. As soon as this article came out, like a bunch of morons, all the people inside the Liberal Party as well as the left-wing media came out and said, "Oh, this is a big hit against Pierre Poilievre. How embarrassing, a former prime minister had to come out and attack him." No one cares. Nobody really cares. If next week, I don't know. I can't even name anyone less popular than Kim Campbell. I guess I'm stuck. And I think that's, rightfully so. I can't name anyone less popular than Kim Campbell, but they'll pretty much use anyone. Bill from accounting at Random Company has come out to say that he doesn't really like Pierre Poilievre that much. That will probably be a story next week. That's all the Liberals have, is claiming that Pierre Poilievre is unpopular despite his popularity. I like all these people coming out and saying, "Oh, Pierre Poilievre says Canada's broken," and that's an insult. Canada's not broken. Well, 70% of people in a poll said it's broken, so maybe you should listen to those people and stop gaslighting everybody. But anyways, that should be it for me today, guys. Again, if you live in my area of Calgary, check out my website, wyattclaypool.com. And if you want to donate to the legal fund for the National Telegraph, we also have that Give, Send, Go link in the description below. I've paid over $26,000 into defending us in court against a crazy, really dumb defamation claim against us. They know it's nonsense. That's why they sued us in Alberta rather than Ontario, because in Alberta, there's no anti-SLAPP legislation to make frivolous lawsuits go away faster. So we've been grinding this out for more than 2 years. So if you can contribute anything to that, it really helps us out. And of course, like, share, and subscribe, and just leave any comments in the video based on like other topics you want me to cover. I'll probably do a live stream later today, so prepare yourself for that, and I'll probably try and get some more content out regarding a lot of the really funny media discourse that's been going on these days, as well as the new Abacus poll, because I think that actually does warrant coverage. Anyways, have a great one, everyone.